The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Me homies, your boy's off to hospitable, aka hospital. Possible hernia, bro.
Welcome along to the Real Pod, me homies.
Oh, me homies.
This is your reality TV in real life in New Zealand podcast. At the moment, we are deep in Bachelorette NZ. So that's pretty much what we're talking about. So just reality TV. My name's Jane Yee. I'm joined by Duncan and Alex Casey of the Spin-off, and we're here with huge thanks to our lovely sponsors, Nando's. Great chicken.
Great chicken and more.
And more.
Yeah, like the Spin-off's office is now, I don't know, feels like about 70% vegan. I don't know how that happened. It's just like summer and everyone's
terrible trend.
plant-based.
Terrible trend.
It's the game changers.
But it is game changers.
That's what did it for me.
we all watched a really objectively bad documentary, which clearly was like mostly made up.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to check any of those insane facts.
Yeah, like, wow, you can do the ropes for ages. It's just bonus for days. But it's crazy how effective it was as a propaganda tool. The point I'm trying to make is that I feel like Nando's is, like, I'm a vegetarian. I have been the whole time we've been, most of the time we've been doing this. And I love Nando's, I think, as much as both of you. So...
It is true. It's the food of the people.
Catering to you at the moment because they give us, now we get lovely vegetarian wraps.
Yeah, those are
with
so good.
halloumi in them and the veggie patty.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Give me all the chicken.
Yeah.
Give me all
Yeah.
all the chicken. Chuck it in the freezer. It'll be good for when I'm back. Keep it all, okay?
Totally.
If you guys aren't going to eat it, I'll eat it. We're online. Our hashtag is #RealPod or hashtag The Real Pod. Take your pick. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/The Real Pod Pod. While you're there, join the Real Pod Corner. Just 3 simple questions to get past the gatekeepers there. And that is our discussion group. Talks about stuff on the podcast and all manner of other things. Very helpful group of people. Lovely, lovely people. Funny people also. We're on Instagram at The Real Pod Pod. And we are just going to get straight into it, straight into batch.
I have 4 weeks to decide if I'm going to drop my entire life for you.
I am disgusted at how much you have copied my husband.
Did you just buy?
Reality check.
Argentina.
Shaka, 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 shaka.
Duncan got up on his feet. You're just one of the lads.
I did the Jessie dance.
Oh, yes, the Jessie
Come
dance.
on.
Sorry. It was a long time ago.
It does feel like forever ago.
Well, I will remember that for my whole life.
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Jessie's excited dance is one of the cutest things on TV right now, along with that little prepubescent man from MAFS. Which you guys don't know.
I don't know.
We'll look at that later.
But
He's so wee. He's 28, but he honestly, he's 13.
Okay.
He cannot. Oh, he's
That's
so
not loud, is it?
such a cutie pie.
Not above the board.
Okay, now listen. It feels like Argentina was, I don't know, at least 3 weeks ago. But it was not. It was just like at the beginning of the week when we started on Sunday night, Glenn was still part of the cast.
Unbelievable.
Isn't it crazy? We've had so much Bachelorette this week. So Glenn, that was sad times, wasn't it? The mole made his reappearance and Glenn was, he was like outed by them all to Lucina. But I remember.
He was owned. It wasn't, they didn't show their working, did they? They were just like, it's clear you're not here for the right reasons. Go get your suit from the van. Sorry.
Okay, far be it to me for me to be Glenn's defender, but like that seemed unnecessarily harsh. Like he's just basically an idiot.
Do you know what it reminded me of? Remember Top Model when I think it was Araha was at the airport and got eliminated?
Oh yeah, it was exactly like that.
All packed, ready to go, but no. Like he had a swell bottle. He had his water bottle for the plane, for the shuttle ride to the airport and the plane. He had to put that in his pocket to get his hands free to remove his luggage from the shuttle. It was heartbreaking. And he seemed genuinely mystified.
Did they forget to eliminate him? Or does he have some kind of weird border thing?
Oh my god.
Trying to take too many lemons out of the country or something?
Or too many identities?
Yeah.
There's just so many layers to Glenn.
Or the intern just maybe lost his passport. That's a possibility as well.
It's too
he doesn't
convenient.
vibe like a guy who has a passport. I'm just saying.
Just keeps it like
it's either none or 20. There is no in between.
Oh, it's so true. Oh man. Anyway, so Glenn got eliminated, and the rest of the fellas jumped on a plane. Logan got a sky couch for why I don't know. What did he do to deserve a sky couch?
You know he serenaded someone at check-in.
He collected everyone's little squares of cheese that they weren't eating and then gave them to the air hostess or air steward. It was like
Logan
cheese for a couch.
Logan seems to be operating by different rules. Like he can somehow sneak out and buy cheese. Like the rest of them seem to be trapped in, it feels like prison. With the bunks. They're never anywhere but that place. And yet somehow Logan has the keys to the city and can just wander around and find exotic cheeses.
Yeah. And gift bags, the whole thing.
Bags.
He might have might have downloaded
the
the Uber Eats app or something, whatever the equivalent is. That there are some that you can just get anything. Doesn't have to be like a meal. Kind of like a
TaskRabbit.
A TaskRabbit.
Did you use TaskRabbit?
No, I haven't, but it sounds great. Same sort of could I get a Snickers ice cream bar right now with TaskRabbit?
I think that's the principle.
Okay, excuse me, I gotta go. Okay, anyway, we'll get to Logan properly because there's a lot to unpack with Logan this week. It's a huge week for Logan. Kurt got eliminated this week. I mean, he just was right up the top and then just gone. You know? Well, I mean, right at the top at the beginning, and then it was a very slippery slope, and then he was gone. Didn't really do anything
put Kurt at
wrong.
number 1 in my preliminary rankings.
That's crazy. Can I just say, what Kirk did is pay a perfect tribute to a classic Warriors season. You come in, you are so excited. You're like, this year, this team. And then, the first game, you're like, ooh, yeah, frisky. And then immediately filling the entire bed with shit. And just eliminated mathematically eliminated by June. Credit to Kurt. You know, that is loyal.
Speaking of loyal, Jonathan practically married himself off to Lucina this week, the king of the reach round. He had a lovely one-on-one time in some sort of Argentinian square. They watched some dancing and he got real intense real quick.
Yeah, he'd be prepared to drop down on one knee. After one conversation?
Okay, no, here's a man who, having applied for The Bachelor, thought he'd better go and watch a season to see what it's all about, and then realised that in the American version, they have a proposal at the end. And he's like, shit, that's what's required of me here. And there's a lot of talk about that in the American one. It's always like, are you ready for marriage? Are you? So he's just he's going, okay, that's what I got to say. We have to remember that none of these guys are privy to any of the conversations that each other are having. Sometimes it's hard to imagine when these guys are seem to be completely unaware of where they're at with someone compared to where other people are at. But it's because, of course, we can see everything. So as far as Jonathan's concerned, everyone else might be professing their love and saying they're prepared to get married as well. He's just doing what he thinks he's supposed to do. Unfortunately, bit much.
It's wrong.
It is a bit much. I also think, counterpoint, he is a jewellery designer.
Oh.
What if he's got an ornate ring that he just wants to just show the market?
Plop on a finger.
You think he's there for the wrong reasons?
I don't know. I'm just saying he definitely wears a gold chain around his neck.
Case
But
closed.
Respect.
But it wasn't even his only miscue. Like they're like,
Yeah.
I want to have children in approximately 8.5 months. To Lily, and she's just like, whoa, Nelly. So,
but they were sad when he left. Like, they were genuinely sad.
I think he's a sweetie pie. Like
he really is.
But he's just not. Yeah, he's not gonna get a Lily or a Lucina.
He's not ready for a girlfriend. He's ready for a wife. So this is the wrong show for him. Flynn, sadly, he's not had much of a run on this show at all. He did the date, the Amazing Race style date. I clocked out of that date completely, pretty much.
Compared to Tavita's banter, just nothing.
Nothing. Couldn't compete.
Just nothing.
Both the models were really similar in the end. Like just.
Who's the other model?
The with the swishy hair, the grey suit, had a bit of a car salesman vibe.
Oh, Dom.
Yeah. I got the car salesman vibe. Was like,
Have the model vibe?
They were both just sort of like really good looking, really bad at chat, and just sort of confounded by things not working, because it's like throughout their lives that's been enough.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
Bubble
they're
people.
100% pure bubble.
What does Flynn? He's also 20.
Yeah. He's got his. I think he might be okay still.
Bless him.
He's dyed his hair blonde. It's looking great.
The one I'm most sad about this week is Conor, who, what a turnaround this guy made over the course of the last few weeks. We mocked him, and then he turned out to be like, I don't know, kind of one of the gang. Doesn't like cats, but for someone who doesn't like cats, happy to stroke a cat on his lap for a long time.
Good old goosey.
It was cute. Got a rabbit called Marshmallow. We only learnt that this week, and then he's gone. It seems like, I don't know, seems like such a waste.
I really don't like Conor.
Why?
I just find him annoying. He's the kind of person who, you'd sort of get sat next to at something, and they'd just be like, right in, just giving you the most inane chat, and you're just stuck, and it's such a ball ache.
It's crazy that he's 24. Always a surprise.
Oh, that is so nuts. It's so nuts.
Because he 100% vibes like he's sort of 42. It's like, it's not his look, it's just his demeanor. And then has that just outlandish statement about, I plan on living around the world for 15 years. You don't?
Do you know what? Again, that's him trying to say what he thinks Lily wants to hear.
I know.
When she's just like, oh yeah, I thought I would stay in Auckland for a while.
And when she thought that?
Exactly in that
then,
moment.
Yeah.
Right in that moment, she's like, I'm never leaving Auckland, because this is the one place I'm safe from Conor.
Who's going to look after Marshmallow?
Oh, Conor, he's a very intriguing character to me, because I feel like that stuff that comes out of his mouth doesn't match what he looks like. The fact that he decided that Lily was the girl he was going, none of it made any sense to me. I think he was just grabbing at anything that would stick, and unfortunately nothing stuck. So.
Okay, I know we've dwelled too long on Conor. This is gone.
Okay.
But
see ya.
If there was a news story that came out later in 2020 that he was caught creeping into houses vaccinating people in the middle of the night, just wandering the city streets.
You would not be surprised, would you?
You'd be like,
no.
Yeah, that sort of fits. And it's not just the question, it's just his demeanour.
Yeah. Okay, so the still here's. We'll kick off with Jesse. Big week for Jesse. He got the beer spa date, the one that production fucked up, that just they weren't open. Lily and Jesse turned up to the beer spa.
That was funny.
No one home.
Couldn't open the door.
Good old production, eh? They're trying
awesome.
some things.
They're not afraid to be on camera and admit any mistakes.
Was that a business? Or
it just looked like a door.
It was a door.
Oh, you mean the actual place?
I mean that that was a small spa bath in a dungeon
with brown
with a few beersies.
Liquid
and
inside
the spa was yuck, like empirically yuck.
Yeah.
I mean, in
I don't know if
my
I wanna walk into a
mind,
dingy place and just put a blindfold on.
I think it's the kind of business that only opens when it's got appointments. So you can't do a walk-in, right? And it's probably not their main source of income, whoever's running it. It's just a quirky little thing that they like to do, and I can imagine what the website looks like. And it's not good.
GeoCities?
What?
You remember GeoCities?
Yes. Geosites.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Geosites, okay.
Well, no,
Jesus.
it was. I think it was
Okay.
GeoCities. No, it was GeoCities, but I used to read it as Geosites, but it's, that means
thank
it's
Christ.
meaningless. Let's go.
gonna
Okay.
start
I
the
just
whole-
don't get the spa filled with beer.
Was it?
No,
Was it beer or was it?
It wasn't beer.
What was it then, Jane?
Bath bomb?
Just brown liquid.
I think it's just the tap
that
water.
better?
It's just the tap water in that building.
Yeah, it's just old
It
pipes.
was just a
man.
bath.
Just ancient
Argentina
rust
has
water.
had like currency crises,
know.
sovereign debt
Seems
crises.
like a fine place.
But
They can't afford anything new.
He tried it, didn't he? Didn't he dip a finger in and give it a lick? Oh,
did he?
Yes,
just to give you some context about why it's so hard to keep anything on track in this podcast episode in particular. Alex has she's an injury, and it's a facial injury, and it's all.
I have an acid burn on my face
Oh, it's
from
not funny, I'm
overly
sorry.
aggressive benzoyl peroxide. Going through some dermatitis at the moment, everybody. Just some skin health for you. And so instead of kind of airing this giant sort of open weeping wound on my face, I decided to put a plaster on like Nelly. And it's a problem because every time I talk or laugh, it starts to become more and more off. And it's a race against time until this plaster falls off and I have to move countries.
Oh, look, honestly, at least you're auditioning for the fucking project, is all I can say. Come talk to me when you've got two giant scabs on your face and it's you versus Jesse Mulligan. How's that a thing that happened?
It's fun.
All right.
It's fun.
Oh,
I'm fine.
okay. Where were we? Jesse. Okay, so I mean, those two, they get on really well. They have some lols. I don't know how much passion there is there. She didn't kiss him, did she?
No.
No.
And he was very like, I don't know, he tried to kind of excuse it away because they had a lot of time together.
Yeah, and I think she said I would have
In a
kissed
spa
him, but the
bath.
moment
In a spa
wasn't
bath. And then the
right or something.
And that's not like everyone else doing their thing and that's not my thing. But it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like you need to make it your thing.
If that wasn't beer in that tub, and we don't know exactly what it was, I feel like I'm curious to know what the odor of the liquid was. Like, did it smell like floral, or was it like sandalwoody, or did it smell a bit like sewage? What was, because that, because an aroma can really affect a vibe as well. So I thought,
True.
I'm just a thought.
I think that they should have had chemistry fit to overwhelm the vibe, unless it was sewage. But I'd be really shocked if it was.
You know what it did look like? Remember when we had that terrible H2Go chocolate milk?
Oh,
yes,
that's a
That
story.
got discontinued. That probably got shipped off
Yeah.
to Argentina
Yeah.
for,
Beer baths.
the pipes.
I love it.
That was mental.
I think Jesse and Lily are forever mates.
They are.
Not
yeah.
forever love. They are like, they really get on.
Yeah.
But there is like a sort of weird tentativeness to him, and Quinn is not holding back. So
Yeah.
it's not him. He's lovely though. Jesse might be if I could have a beer with anyone on the show, it's probably Jesse.
You'd end up just lying on the ground with your pants pulled
just
up
what Lily. I want
to
to
your
be the Lily in
knees,
that situation.
lighting farts. Did you?
Oh my god, that was
There was like
amazing.
historical footage from the Batch Manch that we hadn't seen, right?
Yeah, that was a crazy reveal.
It just like thrown in there as part of a montage.
Wait, did he set a fart on fire?
Did you not see that?
No, it's
How
Jesse laying on his back, knees in the air, his entire
Like a baby.
down, leggy type garment, pants pulled down to his knees,
Wow.
and he's lighting
Oh,
a fart. I know. I'm all.
I didn't
Because
know
I've never
that
even.
you
deal.
No,
I
I
didn't know
knew that you could do
that.
it. I'd heard the myth, but I've never just done it or seen it done.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
amazing. Jesse is obsessed with farts, isn't he?
Oh.
He is. I know because he's
Always tooting away.
he's
And then did that Spanish?
yep.
did they Spanish?
That's Spanish. Do you like farts? So I feel like he's a larrikin, but he unfortunately just crosses over into also being an absolute child. Whereas Quinn is kind of, he's like up for fun, adventurous, ready for a good time, but also man.
Yeah.
You're not in on Quinn.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
You want a bit of Jesse?
Okay, we gotta keep. We gotta keep going.
Okay, one more thing about Jesse.
I love Jesse.
Did you know that he was on First Dates NZ?
No.
And that this isn't his official Bachelor bio, and that he wanted a short girl with dark hair that can handle his family. Which,
Okay.
I mean, that's probably me, but I might be a bit too old. But it makes it interesting. The bit where he says that he wants someone who can handle his family makes me think, I want to see this guy on Hometowns. It sounds like he's got a crazy family, so I want to meet them. Okay. Tavita, he nearly went off the show thanks to hernia gay.
Oi, me homies. Your boy's off to hospitable, aka hospital. Possible hernia, bro.
Where did he learn to talk?
I love it.
It's so good.
Tavita.
Yeah, I've done a massive 180 and am charging into Tavitaville.
The thing is, where was all of this charm and weird way of talking and humour on Heartbreak Island?
I think the weird way of talking was there.
I didn't think it was. Hey, do you remember? Like, he was 28
He
on
was
Heartbreak
the
Island.
old guy on Heartbreak
And he's now
Island.
26. He was amazing on Heartbreak Island because he did that crazy knifing in the back
That's right.
couple switching, which was just like unbelievably cruel. I could watch that again, actually, to be honest. That hernia, I haven't seen a hernia before. They're disgusting.
Yeah.
What is it?
Fucking hell.
John's
What
had
is
a
it?
hernia.
Is it like guts coming out?
It's basically it's like a split in your muscle or something. It's a split and then stuff starts to protrude out.
And then she gives it a...
She's like, can I reduce it?
Oh, so do you... Ooh.
But it was very down low, very down very low, and she's getting her hands just right on in there. Great ploy by
hernia.
Tavita. Anyway, he didn't go home.
That's commitment.
He stuck around. And they had chats where he opened up about a bunch of personal stuff, but he didn't get the rose that night. And then just because it's just a crappy New Zealand production, like they forget shit. They forget to book the beer spa. They forget to tell the lead to give out a rose. But the next night after the life drawing class, she gives him a rose. He's a butt guy, by the way. Just in case you're wondering.
I loved her hard-hitting medical interview. Are you a boob guy? Or what is it? Boob or butt guy?
Butt guy.
Which is great because she's put together.
There's just a lot of good chat about the woman. Like, obviously, we'll get to old mate. What's the surfer bro?
Liam.
Unbelievable. So no, Tavita, like the way that Tavita talked about his upbringing was so affecting. That he was is it the sad clown or what? I thought
there's more to him.
There's a lot to him. I'm completely. I think he could win now.
Oh, he's not going anywhere. He's absolutely not going anywhere. Unless that hernia.
Also, the way he kind of
herniates.
mercilessly roasts Lucina is like something. I don't know if it's like a Neeg like the game thing or if it's just his personality, but she loves it.
Do you think
she's like a perfect human who has no reason to be criticized for anything? Like she's never done anything wrong, and he just comes in and is like, "You're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? What do you know where the grave is? You're a doctor." And I feel like she responds to that like very well.
Can I just say though? As much as that she is she's perfect and essentially always, she was starting to wear on me a little bit. This week.
Well, this is what surprised me in the corner. The cornies were ragging on Lucina hard, and I was shocked.
It's the constant questioning, the refusal. Like she reveals very little of herself and demands a lot of other people, and is very quick to sort of when someone stumbles, and which they inevitably do in these job interview style dates. She's very quick to be like, "Oh, now I have an excuse to cut you off." As opposed to like the way Art used to do it was like, he was so gentle with the dates. He was so, he was encouraging them forward. Like, I get it that she doesn't like Jonathan and Conor. Like, not who would. Like, obviously they're lovely, lovely people, but like they're obviously not for her. But it feels like she's looking for a reason to draw a line through, like an excuse to draw a line through them, rather than sort of letting it happen organically, or admitting that it is just, it's not their fault, it's
just not
the
working.
chemistry's
Yeah,
fault.
and honestly, the giggling I find too much. It's gotten too much.
reckon?
Yeah, I find it really hard to take to tune into someone whose only response to news, good or bad, or literally any word out of anyone's mouth in a conversation is to giggle. You're doing it. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know where anyone would get that. That's so weird. I wrote down a quote that Jo, who doesn't watch reality TV but was watching this episode with me, said. She gives me big Christian person who's drunk heaps of Coke vibes.
And we're not talking no sugar, are we? We're talking full strength.
We're talking full strength.
That
maybe
is
at camp,
such a
maybe
magical-
like late night at camp, too much Coke. Kind of a
This
thing.
ties in with our
that's a
theory from
magic
love
observation.
about love languages, and her perhaps being ex-Christian or secret Christian. Let's see.
I don't think secret.
No.
I don't, she seems like she's strayed from the flock.
She's got a crucifix tattooed on her arm.
Well, okay. So maybe just completely open Christian. But you know, like when I say secret Christian, I mean more the type that's not like doesn't chat about it.
Oh,
No.
who is it?
That's
Jo?
all right.
No,
That's the rules.
No, not getting
Oi,
that one.
oi,
No,
oi,
no.
Oh.
Can't get that one. Don't worry.
Why not?
Well, A, we don't have time, and B, it's just a scam call. And if I pick
That's
it,
great,
no, if I
though.
pick it up,
Ask him what he thinks of
they reverse
Jessie.
charge my phone. No, thank you.
Oh. Well, we'll pay for it.
Anyway.
Wonder what they think of Jessie.
What are we talking about? Suddenly, Lucina's a Christian. Okay,
Yeah.
is that something? Could that be considered defamation? Is that defamation of character? If they're not,
She is proudly Christian. I think it's fine.
If you have a cross in your arm, you have to wear that one.
okay.
Yeah.
Where else are we? What else are we? Who are we talking about? Steve. It started out. It looked like Steve.
Smoky Steve.
It looked like it was going to be a big week for Steve, but it all kind of dissipated pretty quickly. But like a puff of smoke, I guess.
Oh.
Steve smokes a couple of durries a day.
One for breakfast. Can't answer it.
Can't. One for breakfast, one for dinner, and Aaron decided that was a great thing to reveal to Lucina. Now, whose side do you sit?
Asked.
Lucina asked. I feel like, Aaron
He
will
did
get to
not.
Aaron.
He did not hesitate, though, right? And he knew about Terence, and he didn't put Terence's name forward.
Yeah, but Terence is an occasional, not a one for breakfast, one for dinner. and Steve's competition, I mean, obviously the fact they were roomies is troublesome, but I feel like Aaron got a little bit of a raw deal here. Like if she asks and he doesn't reveal, then that's kind of a
How did she ask?
And I feel like
wait.
There was a lead up to her asking.
There was
that
a
question.
lead
Here's
up
what
to
I
the
think.
ask.
Yeah,
Totally.
that was cut that we didn't see.
Of course.
I feel like someone was like, we've got to get the ashtrays for, the smoker in the house. And she's like, who smokes?
Yeah, because
Something like
even when you listen to it, the way she said it was part of a conversation. You could hear her sort of going like, "Oh, who smokes in the house?" Kind of like that intonation, like she suddenly had been told someone smokes and she wanted to know who it was. She wasn't just walking along. "Oh, I love Argentina. This is so nice. Who smokes?" Like,
But also the whole thing was just so weird. Thinking about like the like shame and everything around smoking, like how much that has like changed.
yeah.
It was so bizarre.
I mean, I thought
it's good.
made Steve
Smoking's not great.
made Steve cooler to me. I was like,
Yeah, rock and roll.
I was like,
He's a bad boy.
Darius is Steve.
He's just like went up in the into my rankings. I think he would have come off a lot better if he hadn't like turned into an absolute maniac about it. I'm talking about Steve here. Like if he'd just gone, look, this is the thing, I'm trying to quit. I wish I'd been able to tell her myself, and I'm disappointed that my roomie threw me under the bus. But instead he was like, I am going to kill you, and if anyone says anything about me, no matter what it is, you better look out. I'm coming for you. Even if they say nice things, apparently. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I also liked his. I guess it's just become a bit of a habit, really. It's like,
Yeah.
No shit.
But how weird for that to just be like a major plot point and a major
Yeah.
point of conflict.
Yeah. A major plot point, but not really, is Quinn, because he's clearly like Lily's front runner, but he's hardly in the show. But when he is in the show, he is kissing her.
He's attached to her mouth.
He is pashing hard.
31 seconds.
That's that's a lot of telly time.
That's a while. Yeah.
Is that a record?
That's a long time to kiss someone.
Yeah, Tina's like, no.
But that's a long time to kiss someone when you know you've got cameras on you.
Yeah. If you've got people all around you and you don't even stop once and be like, you guys got the shot? Or like, it's just like in the zone.
And he just doesn't
He's
muck
got
around.
one.
It's like 2 lines, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she's not kissed anyone else, has she?
She has.
Who?
No, I don't think she has.
Who are the other youngies?
Jesse, Terrence, Liam.
Terrence,
Oh,
maybe?
no, that was kind of like a
No, but
kiss
on the second one.
kiss on the cheek, wasn't it?
I thought on their second date they had a little.
Oh, when he got the rose, it was like a peck on the lips, but it was not.
Not a kiss. It was not 31 seconds, is what it wasn't. The best part of the minute. Okay. Just.
Technically.
Majority rules, it's enough to get you in power. Liam, what a cultured guy. I'm really cultured. I take nothing seriously, but I can be very serious. He
Liam
is all
such a
over the show.
dumbass.
He's a shambles of a
He's
guy.
absolutely
I kind
shambles.
of like it.
He's like a Tina Fey character or something, like he's so specifically strange.
He really is. She asked him in some one-on-one time they had together, have you cheated? Are you homophobic? Look, these are 2 questions that no one in their right mind, especially whilst on the telly vying for the heart of someone, is going to say yes to. Especially the are you homophobic question. Like, what was she hoping to achieve with that? I think it's like you say, Duncan, she's just hoping that someone will say, yes, I am homophobic. Who's going to say that, even if they are?
Yep.
But anyway, she's hoping someone will say yes so she can use that as a reason to send them home.
Just the interrogator in chief. But the speech to Lily was just unbelievable.
Oh man.
Like, I was looking for someone skinny, blue eyes, blonde hair, skinny, Australian,
tall,
petite.
Great smile.
And just like very thin.
Called Lily.
And then you turned up.
The skinny thing. That really stood out as just...
It's not great.
No.
It's not great. Yeah, but he got a rose after that conversation.
and got called deep? What planet?
Oh, he's very mature about all his decision makings. Very mature. Okay, we'll be back soon to talk about our friends Terrence, Mark, Logan and Aaron. But first of all, let's hear about the spin-off members.
Hello, beloved Corny. I've got some breaking news for you. You may or may not know we've launched the Spin-Off Members program. This is a program that allows you, our readers, to contribute to the future direction of our coverage. If you donate over $80, you get a free tea towel illustrated by the legend himself, Toby Morris. I am on it, if that matters to you. If you become a part of our members club, you can support us hiring more journalists. You can tell us what you like, what you don't like about what the spin-off's doing, and you can also tell us what you'd like to see in the future. If you want more information on it, you can go to www.thespinoff.co.nz/members.
Kia ora. Sorry for this interruption. It's Alice Neville here. I am the food editor at The Spin-Off, and I just wanted to pop in and tell you about our food podcast, Dietary Requirements, hosted by me, Simon Day, and Sophie Gilmore. It celebrates all there is to know about eating and drinking. There's cooking tips, there's special guests, there's what we've been eating and drinking lately, and we try not to chew into the microphone too much. So if you like food and drink, listen in. You won't regret it. It's at thespinoff.co.nz and all your favourite podcast providers.
Okay, Terrence. I love Terrence.
Yes, you finally came around to
I'm all around him and his goofy legs. I love him. What a cutie. I think he might be a bit short, but that's all right.
Terrence is very lovable. The more time, like they're sort of dividing themselves into kooks who are cast to be the sort of weird grit in the oyster, and then just genuinely nice people who have a shot at winning. Terrence is clearly into that account.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think he wasn't cast as that. right? Like he was like the nudie, homeless builder.
Oh, yeah.
No, hang on.
Like,
No,
there for
he
a
wasn't
laugh.
nudie, was he? Elliot was the nudie.
No, he did nudie stuff.
did he?
He did nudie
no,
stuff.
that wasn't that.
No,
that
he did
bald
nudie.
man with the pointy
I've
head.
seen his ass. And it's got a tattoo on it.
Just
that
to
says,
be clear,
like
for-
eat, pray, love or something.
For listeners at home, Alex just looked off into the middle distance.
He did. She did.
And put her 2 hands up in front of her face in the the
Butt
grope
shape.
position.
Oh.
Seen his ass.
Is your plaster okay then, Ellie?
It's okay. It's on the move bit. Like
Every
I'm
time she
feeling a
laughs,
bit
she
of
has
air.
to like hold the plaster in place. That's honestly so good. It's a shame this is not a telly show. Have you seen? So Terence, suddenly like Terence in one of his in the moment interviews or diary cams or something. I don't even think they're doing in the moment. He's just using diary cams. But he had a like pink hat on. I feel like it was pink backwards. He had a bit of a shave and his hair back off his face. I was like, good Lord, where have you been, handsome man? Like,
Good Lord.
he was so cute. And so then I found myself on his Instagram and I went back and saw some, like, Terence with short hair is a different human being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good or
Get amongst
bad?
it.
What? I thought you followed everyone on air.
I know, but I haven't got.
You
You
gotta go-
I just thought it was all scuba diving.
No, you've got to go. You've got to do a deep dive into the past.
He's also got the best handle, terence.lostadventures.o'brien.
I feel
That
like
is too long.
I feel like he's
TMI.
I feel like he's very genuine, old Terence. And
Yeah.
he genuinely seems to kind of be nervous about the fact that he's, you know, got some feelings for Lily and so on. It's very cute.
The
Mark,
Nutella? Sorry, the unnamed chocolate spread? Can we just
yes.
give that a moment.
Well-
What the hell was going on with that?
Lily's just having fun. She's pulling roses out of her pants, like her front pants. She's
Her leggy garments.
out of her shoes and out of unnamed chocolate spread in the same shaped jar as
She's-
Nutella.
She is a truly great bachelorette.
She
Yeah.
really is.
Because she vibes like she's really into it. She also kind of makes fun of the process and her in the moments. You know, like, she's dorking it the whole time. Like, getting it out of her shoe and the Nutella, like, it's like, that's disgusting. Like, flat out disgusting. All of it. So cool.
And those roses have been touched by many, many, many people. I assume by that point.
Oh, yeah, no one's eating that. No, everyone's eating that Nutella. Sorry, unnamed chocolate, hazelnut spread. Okay, Mark. Oh, weird. Mark.
Oh, nudie Mark.
I hate him. AA Ron?
He always says AA Ron.
that's like-
No, but you know, if
that's
Tavita
bullying.
said AA Ron.
No,
I'd be like, love
Tavita.
it.
No, who
No.
called him? Someone called him
Why
Amog.
not?
That's
Steve.
bullying.
Why?
They're bullying because it's like they're saying it like as a way of owning Aaron.
For having two
It's
A's in
actually
it.
from a
Yeah.
Key and Peele skit, is what it's from.
There's no way he's seen Key and Peele.
Yes, he has. He's seen it
Are
on
you
Facebook.
kidding?
He's seen it. That's the
Mark.
famous one that everyone's shared. Balake, AA Ron. Anyway,
Maybe.
regardless, he got his penis out. Like, and his entire willy was out, as far as I'm aware.
just gaping.
Yeah, just proudly nude.
And
Crazy.
in front
She
of
didn't
all.
hate it.
She didn't hate it. She loved it. She was
She is
so.
a
She was
proudly
for it.
horny lady.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Then I want to see the drawings. You know, Aaron got involved and was doing. He was hating,
That's
purely
right.
seething.
What is Aaron?
Aaron's hell, eh?
Yeah, he's
Well, I
like
can't wait to talk about Aaron.
Aaron's in like downtown Pingtown, drawing pictures and hating every second. And I don't. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Mark is I feel like he's not going to win this thing, but I think she wants to bone him.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
So perhaps after Fantasy Suites, he'll get the heave ho. Who's gonna win for Lucina?
AA Ron.
Maybe no way. Not after this week.
He's getting worse and worse for me. I
I think
really
Tavita's
liked
got
him
one,
on that
Yeah,
ropes
Tavita's
course day.
I think he's got a shot. Also, we might not have met the winner.
That's true. Okay, good point. And to be fair, it's not like she's established much of a relationship with actually anyone, apart from a few pashes here and there, some of which very dry.
A few.
As we'll get to. Logan, our rollerblading friend, armed with his inhaler, that date was like it was like a mum taking their kid rollerblading. The way she was talking to him, and way to not look sexy, right?
But,
were you into it, Duncan?
Somehow
I like that.
Well, I like Logan somehow. Against my better judgment.
Logan's my worst.
I like Logan.
Kill me now.
Sweet Logan.
Kill me now.
Not
yeah.
sweet
Write me a
Logan.
sonnet.
Overly
also just like
earnest, completely smug.
He's not smart.
Eavesdropping, hanging out windows.
Hanging out? You mean being in his room?
No, he's dangling from his room with one like a paper cup to amplify the volume of Aaron's secret diary cams.
Strong disagree. I think like Logan is one where it's like I feel like that's the closest to how I'd be on that show. Like trying to be sort of vaguely normal in this sea of like weird testosterone-y bunk bed crap, you know?
Please don't. I
don't know if he's being normal.
No. No.
But like he's actually thinking about her all the time. Like he's buying cheeses, he's like writing things. Like the rest of them are just like as soon as they're off camera, they're like, "Should we do some lad stuff, lads?" And they're like, "Yes."
Shall we drop a strawberry from 2 stories up, lads?
I think that's more normal.
Where is the lighter? I have a fart coming, lads.
I honestly think that's more normal behaviour than.
But also, like, but if you're Lucina, is it like, is this lads trip or is this about finding?
Or do you want a
trip?
stalker?
Well, it's not a stalker. It's like a long-term partner. It'd be nice if they cared about you.
Would you not be wooed by a man who brings you a
Casey.
giant wedge of cheese in a bag for no reason?
Okay, I'm happy with the cheese.
Lucina eating the cheese.
Please stick it on.
Yeah, it is coming off. Lucina eating the cheese like a mouse lady.
This is the worst podcast of all time.
No, this is a good
best
one.
podcast.
You can see it, Jane. I thought it was very discreet.
It's very far from
Tina
discreet.
is making the whip it off sign.
I'm not whipping it off.
Can you please
I'm not back.
Okay. You have got to take a photo of this and put it in the corner because I feel like people definitely need the visual
to
for
put
this.
a smiley emoji over it. Don't take a photo. I need to go.
Speaking of smiley, he wrote a love letter. He had smiley faces on it.
Have you ever done a Duncan?
I don't think so.
Okay, look, they had wet patches, well, no, dry patches. It wasn't. I mean, no, he's got. I had a guy once who I worked with who used to like send me gifts all the time, and it was awful. And then at one point he was
that's
like,
different.
Then he wrote me this letter about how like I gave nothing back to him, like in terms of like emotions, like because I don't want to be with, like I'm not interested in you. He basically.
But that's, okay, that sounds terrible.
Like,
and like he was
nice
a stalker.
Guy.
And I'm real like that's concerning.
Well, maybe I've just been triggered.
That's at work. This isn't a love competition.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Even if you're in a love competition, doesn't mean that you have to accept the advances of someone who's you're not interested in.
Oh, do you think she's not interested in her?
I think she's. Are you still talking about Logan?
Yeah.
I think he's got a shot. I think
he's
top
got
three.
a shot too.
Ugh. Dry kiss. She laughed. She mocked his kissing. She mocked it on camera. I think she was really into him. She wouldn't have done that. Okay,
that's fine.
Anyway,
cheese. Yum.
This takes us nicely into Amog, as Steve calls him, Amog Aaron, who weirdly, this is an odd one, but he reminds me of Reece Darby a little bit, and I'm not sure why. But also,
whoa.
Just like there's something about like his mannerisms or his smile. I look for it, but I feel like he could be a doctor on Shortland Street.
Yep.
Like he would be great.
Joe said he could be an All Black.
That too.
Yeah. From Canterbury.
I think he looks like in the Margaret Mahy. Like there's an animated cartoon about like Margaret Mahy stories, and it's an animated one of like this guy who impersonates a shark, and like has a shark fin that he ties to his back and swims around.
Yeah.
And I think Aaron looks like a guy who looks like a shark. He looks like a cartoon character. Who looks like a shark.
Real popular.
No, people will know. People know.
Yeah, people will know.
It's a Kiwi classic.
He's a guy who looks like a lot of people in illustrations.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened with Aaron this
Where
week?
do you begin with him? It was a complete psychic disintegration
Yeah.
of the likes of which I've never seen before.
We started
TV.
with Lucina telling him that he needs to talk to Lily more so that she can get Lily's feedback on him, which is like an odd take, but whatever.
Can I just say, I think his like instinctive I can't even talk to you and I have to be almost rude to you to prove my love for Lucina is a scary take. Like, the fact that that's what he thinks is an appropriate way to interact with women on the show, like, that's a bit, like, freaking weird, isn't it?
I kind of understand it.
I get it.
Is that crazy? Like, if he's just all in, and he's already I think he's like way too in. You know, like, I think it's weird how in he is, but I kind of get it. Like, if you'd want to just be like tunnel vision, you're my person, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
But not being rude. Like, it sounds
But
like
I
he was
don't think-
rude.
No, I don't think
to
it's
her.
rude. I just think he was not like making efforts to like pull her at cocktail parties and that kind of thing, which why would he? Because he wants to spend his time with Lucina. And he doesn't want
no.
Lucina to think that he's, you know, she didn't like that idea. Remember when Glenn was, you know, trying to figure out which girl was right for him? She was not into that idea at all. So Aaron's taking that and going, okay, I'm making sure my focus is on Lucina. She's the one. I'm going to make sure I bag out every other guy in this place and make her mine.
Oh, God. That doing a diary cam in a public place where you just bag out everyone is just, like, real poor judgment.
Yeah.
And then
The acoustics in that like kind of sealed in courtyard vibe of where they're staying.
you might as
Who
well,
would not have heard that?
you might as well yell it into their room. Like,
In Aaron's defense,
whoa.
Oh shit!
he called Mark a look at me attention seeker, Logan overly romantic one trick pony, and Jesse a bit loud and annoying
Goodbye,
and sort of
Alex.
annoying other
Bye,
people.
everyone. Duncan,
Bye.
sorry.
See you, Duncan. Oh, Alex.
Hospitable, me homies.
Oi, oi, me homies. Okay, so Alex is gone. Where were we? What were we talking about?
I think we were mid Aaron.
Yeah. We were mid me leaping to Aaron. I don't like Aaron particularly. He's gone down in my esteem quite a lot in the last week or so. But I do think that he had entirely fair points about everyone that he badmouthed. He was just telling the truth.
I agree with that. I mean, and people make, you know, we've all hit reply when we meant forward or whatever, you know. Like that's not a thing that doesn't happen, but it's the sort of the compounding effect of that plus the Steve thing, and then how he handled himself when Lucina arrived mid the kind of mid the recriminations. Like, he just is going to pieces. And on one level, I agree with you. Like, I reckon it must be real. Like, well, I think I've been on like junkets and stuff when it gets a bit hectic and suddenly you're like, where am I and what am I doing? And I can only imagine the effect of that when there are TV cameras around and you know that it's going to be on air in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Nonetheless, the sort of slide from this kind of smooth, self-assured, confident guy to like kind of a wreck by the end of the week was sort of disconcerting.
Yeah, I mean, but I also think that to your point about it being such a unique environment, such a unique situation that no one really knows, including you or I, how you'd cope in that situation or what you'd do. This is a very prescribed format that TVNZ are almost not sticking to at all, but it does mean that these guys do, if they've got any knowledge of this show, probably do feel under pressure to be like, if I'm going to be the guy that sticks around, there's certain things I need to do and I need to be good television, I need to say things. There are story producers who are encouraging these guys to bag each other out, perhaps feeding them with information or just even having like little chats with them like, man, Jesse's getting annoyed. You know, like that's the sort of stuff that happens. And, well, I mean, it happens in the international. I don't even know if they can afford these people in the New Zealand version. It feels like the guys have just been given GoPros and told to go to Argentina. But that, you know, I think that so much of the weird behavior that we're seeing from someone like Aaron, who's so invested, is because he's kind of aware of the situation that he's in, while simultaneously being crushed by it.
Totally. I think that the thing that sort of seems like it's, or my kind of theory of it is that he is a person who is striving to get away from a past, which he genuinely sort of now recognizes as sort of like wasn't characterized by particularly strong behavior, and he's front
Not ideal. Yeah.
He's front-footed that with the whole ghosting conversation earlier. But I think when you're in the process of doing that, if you're a healthy person, you don't know if the project is going to work. You fear backsliding. We all have behaviors that we're working on, and we try to to get away from, small or large. And I sort of feel like he initially thought that he was presenting a particular face to himself, and then subsequently, these sort of missteps, and particularly his response to them, make him feel like he's shown his real self to the show or to Lucina, and that sort of multiplied by the fact that he is genuinely smitten with her. And I think it started to ascribe to her sort of savior-like qualities in terms of, this is my ticket out of the sort of the reality or the kind of behavior patterns and character that I had been previously. All those things are adding up to, like, it was quite freaky, some of the sort of the intensity of the emotional reaction he had.
Yeah. I guess the only other thing that we have to say is we're not seeing everything, like we're not getting we're getting what,
for sure,
what works in the TV hour or 4 hours, as the case may be. But yeah, no, he's definitely coming undone. I think he really likes Lucina, and I think he really wants to be the guy at the end. And as such, anything that may threaten that is very problematic for him. And he's probably drunk as well,
Yeah. That's basically it. And I think, he's super invested. He's gone from a sort of unbackable favourite to, I personally think that he's got a mountain to climb now. I don't think it's irrecoverable.
Really? Oh, I kind of feel like she's probably, as much as she'll be feigning, like, well, we're yet to actually see her real reaction to all of this, but as much as she might feign being totally horrified by the fact that he said some stuff to Diary, it's just like not really that big of a deal.
No, the saying stuff to Diary Cam is nothing. I mean, like, she's saying worse herself all the time. I think it's the reaction to it. It's what that says about your sort of stability and character.
No, he's just a drunk guy.
Maybe.
He's just a drunk guy who thinks he's upset his girlfriend and blown his chances.
I mean, that's probably
He'll
true.
be fine when he wakes up in the morning.
It's funny how you just play some dramatic music and you're like, oh my God.
And Logan's the guy comforting him, which I think is kind of cute. I mean, that's a point for Logan.
That's what I mean. It's like, he's not part of this weird macho gang. He's just like trying to be like a sort of, be a grown up in a room full of kids.
I know, but he's not funny enough.
Oh, he's not funny at all.
I don't know. I wouldn't date him. No. I find that hard to reconcile. Anyway, what else happened? Is that all the guys? I kind of wrote them based off my notes, but I didn't actually check to see. I mean, honestly, if I've left anyone off the list, they weren't memorable enough to be there.
Did we do Quinn properly?
No, we did. Well, because he wasn't on. All he did was pash Lily, and that was it. Like, there was nothing else to say.
He seems like the winner. Like that is just, that's a real thing.
That's totally. And I think that's why we're not seeing him very much, is to kind of like, I don't know, plant a seed of doubt in our minds that he's the guy at the end. He's definitely the guy at the end. Gotta be.
You know who else we're not seeing much? Art Green.
Well, we're not, but when we do see him, he arrives with some bombshells.
Yeah.
And this week, he turned up at the end of the show to tell us that there was a massive game changer coming. Right? Or was that just in the promo?
It was in the promo. It was right. In fact, in
the promo.
The promo which said
turn up with
tomorrow night on The Bachelor. And I was like, God damn you. It's not tomorrow night, it's Sunday.
That's not. I know. I got in touch with the publicity team about that. It was an accident. And she was like, thanks for spotting that. I was like, no, I really actually was hoping you'd say, yes, surprise.
5 nights.
5th episode of the week coming your way. But, I mean, there's no real shock of what's about to happen next week, right?
So a new dump. Fresh dump of powder.
There's going to be a new dump. A whole bunch of new guys are going to come in. I don't have any like prior knowledge of this, except for that you can tell by watching the promo. and you can tell by that being something that's happened before, and you can tell by the reaction of the guys in the promo. Also, there's a shot where you can actually see people in the background who are not any of the existing cast. So, I mean, I think it's a fairly reasonable assumption to make.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Dunk?
I'm pumped about it because, to be honest, I enjoy the show a lot, but the competition aspect of it, which, you always forget that, like, this to me is like the most fun part of the show. But when you get near the end, it does get quite earnest, and it does rely to an extent on there being kind of plausible, real feelings amongst multiple people, which I don't really believe to be the case with either of them. Certainly with Lily, and they kind of need something to lift it.
I am really scared for Aaron. Like, new guys come on the scene, more competition. You think he's in a bad state this week. What will next week bring for Aaron?
Well, it's not just that. It's the, like, how does he respond to it, right? Like, well, which is what you're saying. So, like, fundamentally, he's in this real vulnerable position, and his troubles are marked less by events than his response to events. And this is a far more problematic event given what we know about how Aaron responds to things. There was some, like, just little tease in the promo about, where they were talking in an almost warlike way, like, which you do get. It always seems surprising because when you're watching, you're like, oh, a bit more company, must get really boring. These guys are kind of annoying you. But it's so tribal.
Yeah. And it's also, what it's going to do is it's going to bring the old guard together.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a strengthening from the OGs as these new rivals come in. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how the dynamic changes between the guys who perhaps have been a little bit like butting heads with each other are now probably just going to be solid as bros,
Yeah. Can't wait.
I'm forever hopeful that Max cares amongst their number. I know it's just a completely ridiculous proposition, but
yeah,
how good would that be?
It would be so great. I wonder if he's like too sort of self-consciously a prominent person for it to work, but yeah.
He's just been so quiet on social media, and I've tried. I mean, I haven't actually asked anyone, but I've looked into, I've just been trying to find clues on the internet, and Tavita follows him, but he doesn't follow anyone from the show. Max doesn't follow anyone, including Lily or Lucina. So, but I feel like he's smart enough to know that not to give that game away.
Precisely. That is one thing which that almost is a point in its direction in a way. Is that like he's very savvy. Like he knows the medium.
He's consciously not. He follows 3,500 people. I feel like Lily is the kind of person that he would follow,
100%.
Even if he didn't know her. But the fact that he doesn't follow her is almost like, what's going on here then?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll just wait and see. I mean, I've got to get a medal if he's on the show, right?
100. Yeah, this is your crown. This is your Lily as Bachelorette.
This is my Lily as Bachelorette. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the likelihood of it is, but I can't wait. I can't wait for Sunday night. Tell you that for sure.
Me either.
Now, do you watch? We've probably pretty much reached the end of.
We have
Batch. You watched MAFS.
So I watched three episodes of MAFS AU. Just some bullet point thoughts. It is much more wholesome, or at least it reads much more wholesome so far this year. Like there certainly aren't the sort of the chaos matches and the same kind of monster personalities. They're doing some.
Do you think they've reached critical mass of drama, like kind of unholy drama?
I think what happened was they were like so someone I know in the industry said that despite its insane ratings, they couldn't sell an ad spot in it. Like it was just such a toxic show. It had tremendous value to the network and that it inflated ratings all around it, but that its value as a place to put your advertising was severely diminished as a result.
Sure. So it was all brand awareness versus brand attitude.
Yeah. But I think that and this one had the highest ratings in Australia of a debut in 5 years. So the heat is still around it, but it's not. They're just quite sweet couples. There's this I'm terrible. I never remember people's names, but there's this like New Zealand sort of Thai Welsh woman who's like incredibly sweet and has been paired with someone that seems to work for them. This woman who had twins and then her husband walked out on her and they were 6 weeks old and she's just like super vulnerable.
He needs to burn.
Oh my God, right?
Oh.
It's just
I know what it's like to have twins.
So they've got some really emotive stories. They've got like a recovering meth addict, which is quite full on, but she's And like she's been paired with like a former MMA fighter who's recovered from a spinal injury with super Christian parents. So there's like lots of ingredients, but I don't know whether it's the production or the reality of it that they feel more genuine. And so far, there's been no real combustible weddings. Like the mother of twins had what suddenly appeared like a panic attack at the wedding, but the guy was amazing.
Understandable.
Oh, totally.
Like, understandable, right?
Oh, at the best of times, just a regular wedding is bad enough.
Even when you're in the audience.
Yeah.
Speaking for myself.
And there's the first ever same-sex wedding on, which is like, on one level, man, it took you 9 seasons. On another, they just had marriage equality over there.
Have they not had a same-sex couple
Never.
before?
The thing that's interesting is like our one, so we've had them 2 out of our 3 seasons, and they were barely remarked upon.
No, they have had a same-sex couple, but they got married in Queenstown. They came to New Zealand to get married.
Right. Okay. Well, this is the first time that they've had one married in Australia. In any case, as a percentage of the married population, it's very, very small. The thing that was like different and a little bit queasy for me was there was this kind of, do you worry that there was some kind of a question line about whether you are you're like, what if they're not really a lesbian, or what if it's just like, which I think shows that the New Zealand production, the way that like there was never a kind of maybe you'll change back kind of bullshit, like so that was like a little bit queasy, but they're quite a sweet couple, and there's one of them's like a bartender, and her dad is just like, sometimes I don't know why, maybe it's a sexist thing, but the dads just get me sometimes. And this guy, this like weeping old man, so lovely. And then, okay, I'm nearly done. There's this one like
no, it's good. It's good.
There's these 2 like North Shore Sydney socialites. One of them, the woman's only ever dated like 50-plus-year-old guys. She's 25, and she's got like she acknowledges this father complex, and it's all very strange. And the dad's there, and it's all weird. And she gets paired, and it's kind of amazing, almost like physical comedy. She's paired with this like 28-year-old like guy who runs a rest home. But he...
Oh, I mean, it's good in, right?
Totally. Well, you're taking care of it, anyway. But he is like... He looks so young. He's just got such a baby face, and he's got a slightly nervous manner, but he's like good looking and all the rest of it. But he's got this like aunt who had like the umbilical cord around her neck for too long, and she's but she's like he's just amazing with her, and he took her to prom. Like, oh my God.
Aww.
Like, he's just so lovely. And
you're selling it to me. I think I'm gonna have to watch.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It is like a totally different tonal feel to the previous ones, and it's like on some level that's a bummer, because there was something just jaws agape about the previous season, but there is something about this show when it's executed at a high level, and something about Australians on it just works.
The original incarnation of the show, the Australian version, was such a far cry different from what it's become in quite a short space of time. And I enjoyed it for what it was back then. It was much more wholesome. Like the most drama was like an argument between a couple and things didn't work out. It was also a much more realistic way they handled sending people to live in the other person's hometown and but still like work. Like they'd spend a week actually living with their new spouse.
Really testing
but
it.
Still traveling to work, still continuing with their normal everyday life. So they'd get a real idea of what life with that person would be like. There was one like dinner party every couple of weeks or something. It just was nothing like the show that it's become. So maybe if they can like dial it back a bit, bring some of that nicety from the early seasons back into it. Maybe it can recover.
I think that's what they're attempting to do. But I assume that they'll sort of hybridize it, and they'll have a few couples who are pure drama, but more that are really have a legit shot. But then we're such suckers, right? Like the first time you watch these things, you're always like, and you just buy the whole thing, and then they start to reveal themselves. So I'm sure that these people I'm projecting all kinds of like sort of sweetness and light onto now are actually like hell demons. But no, I mean it's so much TV. These two 4 nights a week, hour plus episodes is like, it's a job, but I'm into it.
Well, I think I'm going to watch it. So we'll probably do like brief chats at the end, right? Like brief roundups like this on what the week that's been on MAFS AU. I know that the cornies aren't keen to go full deep dives, or as a majority. But
they can always turn
there are some sneaky cornies in there are still up for it. So we have to look after them as well.
That's true.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much, Nando's. Thank you, Tina. Good to have you back. Glad you made it home safely from Bali.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dunk. Thanks to Alex and her lovely plaster on her face.
Oh, it was an iconic episode for that.
Can you please make sure you get a photo? It needs to be shared. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry for cutting you off, Dunk.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBet.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spin-Off. You can help us keep all of The Spin-Off's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.